Confronted my girlfriend's overly hands-on friend. Now my girlfriend thinks I should apologize for defending our relationship boundaries. My GF is bi and primarily dated women before we met. We're getting serious and talking about getting married. We've dated for over 2 years. But recently she's been making a lot of polygamous jokes and I'm not really into it. She has this friend that I get the feeling is just waiting for a hiccup in our relationship to make a move. She's bi and openly makes jokes about being sexual with my girlfriend. I've shared that I don't like it before, but she jokes that I'm gay for not being into it. Maybe I could be into an experience, but honestly, this person just makes me uncomfortable too often. Besides that, she's just not my type sexually. We had a long conversation around COVID about she wanted to be referred to he/him, so I did. 2 years later he wanted to be referred to as they/them, so I did. Recently she's circled around back to she/her, which is fine. But the whole time she dresses like a Kyle. For those of you that are unfamiliar, a Kyle is a kind of guy that wears Fox apparel, washes down vape with a Monster Energy drink. She would be attractive, but it's like her idea of masculinity was formed from high school douchebags, not 30-year-old men. Anyway, Saturday we got into a fight because we had some friends over. Kyle was the last one to leave, we'd all been drinking. I was in the kitchen putting away some food and I see this asshole put his hand on my GF's ass. I let her know right away, that's the line, you crossed it, stop. My girlfriend gives her classic that's just how girls joke and goes. They did this silly little dance twirl thing that ended my GF on Kyle's lap. I'd had enough and stepped into the room. My GF doubled down and said that most guys would be dying to fool around with 2 women. I was blunt and said that I was uninterested in sharing her with anyone. Kyle then said something like maybe I see, old strap one on, maybe you'd prefer a man. I was drunk, this asshole had his hand on my GF's waist, and my GF on her lap. I lost it. I don't remember what I said exactly, something like if you were a man you would have been kicked out or knocked out already. This struck some kind of chord with her, she postured up like a gorilla and it was a 3-way shouting match. I don't know what was said exactly. But it ended with Kyle loudly proclaiming that she had to leave before someone got hurt. Here's the problem, my GF somehow thinks that I need to apologize. Me, for threatening a person who came into my home, grabbed my girlfriend's ass, sat her down on her lap, and insinuated that I'd like to be ass fucked by a man. She says that I needlessly introduced violence, and forced Kyle to drive home intoxicated. I honestly can't fathom an apology, and I honestly don't care to have Kyle in our life anymore. I'm not typically the one to die on a hill, but I feel like anything short of digging my heels in is unacceptable. I told her I'd think about it, she's staying at a cousin's house for a few days. If it was just one night, I'd get it, but it's been several. Saturday was just the tipping point. But honestly, she acts like this something she can get out of her system. I think she wants to be bi, and I think a lot of her friends are doing the poly thing. It's just not for me. I want one partnership with one person. All of her poly friends are in relationships but they come and go, there's nothing concrete there. She claims to want kids, she claims to want commitment. But her actions say otherwise. TL, doctor, my GF has a girlfriend that presents very masculine that she makes sex jokes with. Saturday she propositioned a 3-way, I got upset and her friend basically called me gay. So we almost fought, now my GF wants me to apologize. I don't want to apologize, I can maybe get over it if we agree not to see Kyle again. I don't want to scrub another long-term relationship, but is even something you can work past? I don't know if this post was a good or bad idea. I won't reply until I feel like it. I have a big band-aid to rip off. I've shared that I don't like it before, but she jokes that I'm gay for not being into it. Oop, that's what I'm saying, but they've been friends longer than I've been together with her. She writes it off as, that's just a long-running joke. But you know, you can tell when a thirsty MF is eyeballing your woman replying to a deleted comment. Oop, what blows, is that in almost every other way. We click. Similar interest, similar political beliefs, similar morals, we're both career-driven and stable. Our sex life is also very good, we both pay attention to each other's needs. But her poly friends have her believing she can be a stay-at-home mom and sleep around when she feels like it. She's 95% of the way there, fucking sucks. Update 1. I'm just going to go off the bullet points of the conversation, because I'm over it. She arrived yesterday with a peace offering from our favorite ice cream shop and wanted to set things aside so we could settle down and catch up on the new episode of Hot. I told her that I was uncomfortable just eating ice cream and watching TV with the elephant in the room. I think that she could sense that I was in a different mood than she expected. The talking points were as follows. I mentioned that I felt no need to apologize, and referenced that Kyle had never apologized for disrespecting me in my home on other occasions. And THST, the average person would display hostility towards someone who acted the way Kyle acted. Her response was that she felt it was a first-time offense and that she had no idea I felt so strongly towards the jokes in the past. I cut her off and told her that she wasn't listening to me if that was how she felt. She stated that I introduced violence, and that's what I should be apologizing for. I stood my ground and said that any person who touches another person's spouse sexually in front of them, without their consent, should understand that they're going to provoke a reaction. Given that I actually have boxing experience, I showed restraint. She made this weird point that, because I have boxing experience, I should somehow be more careful about provoking violent situations because I know that a fight between Kyle and I is a mismatch. Which I easily countered with the fact that I didn't provoke the situation, Kyle did, and my girlfriend not seeing that as a problem. She mentioned that it was reckless for me to kick out an intoxicated guest. I easily retorted with Uber fucking exists. There's no reason to drunk drive in 2024. If she dies in DUI, it's because she was too cheap/stupid to pay the $15 to get a ride there. I'd looked it up yesterday. Her stupidity is not my responsibility. I asked her if she'd slept with Kyle in the past. She said no. Maybe I'm biased and not to be trusted, but I believe her. I told her that it makes me super uncomfortable that she keeps pressuring me into having sex with someone I'm unattracted to. This is compounded by the fact that I've had to jump through hoops to make sure that Kyle was comfortable with her sexuality over the years. This is the curveball I didn't expect. She claimed that Kyle actually likes me for that reason. That Kyle shows her affection like a schoolyard idiot. That Kyle feels comfortable with the both of us. My girlfriend feels comfortable with Kyle, so their intention was to gauge my comfort level and proceed. Obviously I brought up that I wasn't sexually attracted to Kyle in any way. And that she hadn't helped her cause by treating me the way she has that night or the nights prior. My girlfriend reinstated that she was unaware that my feelings before were as strong as they are because I didn't display emphasis or something. Essentially she thought I shrugged it off in good humor. I stated that I'd like to start talking about what a break up looks like. She was obviously so far from the idea that we were talking about a breakup. Immediate waterworks, immediately incoherent, and apologetic, I brought up that I'm unsure if she actually believes in our shared goals of marriage, parenthood, and monogamy. She was in hysterics but essentially couldn't believe that I would come to that conclusion based off one night. I reminded her that it was a pattern of behavior. Not one night. She then backpedaled and said that her polygamous behavior was a part of her life she wanted to share with me before we were married. And she believed that she was presenting it in a way that she thought would be appealing to me. I think she thinks I have porn brain. But I reminded her that I'd showed a lack of interest before, and that in my opinion this wasn't the first time she'd pitched fooling around with Kyle. She circled back to insisting the other times were jokes. I told her that if she believes that, she either wasn't listening to me or not taking me seriously. I brought up that it wasn't okay that they called me gay because I didn't want to engage with their ideas. I brought up the hypocritical nature of her friend group being so inclusive. But making fun of my sexuality when I didn't want to participate in their games. She was hyper-apologetic, and didn't understand that it was a problem until I framed it in had the shoe been on the other foot, it would never be acceptable. What do you all think? Stay or nay?